Hi, my name is Muhammad Firdaus, and this is my first journal entry for the Theory of Knowledge class with Mr. Well. So, for my first journal entry, I will form a knowledge question based on a news article that I found interesting, and then based on that, my based on my theory of based on my knowledge question, I would then discuss it, and finally I would form an opinion, form my final opinion um, about about the knowledge question that I formed. So the news article that I chose is about a gambling site that is revealed to be a fraud. Now, this article is entitled Counter-Strike YouTubers Revealed as Owners of Gambling Site They Promoted Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Steeped in More Controversy, written by Allegra Frank in the July 4th, 2016. So I would post the link if you want to, if you want to see the link or news article for yourself. This is the link right here, and so basically what the news article is about is that a bunch of YouTubers they made a gambling site with which they promoted, but they didn't admit that that gambling site is actually run by them. So they could manipulate the gambling site's algorithm to suit their purposes, which is to win. So after they promoted it to other players, other players would try to play in their gambling site, but however, 99% would probably result in them losing. So because this gambling site isn't all in system, so the players would pretty much lose all of their items after losing in the gambling site. So a hacker infiltrated the gambling site, and the hacker was able to find a document that basically stated that the gambling site is run by those YouTubers that promoted the gambling site in the first place. So the hacker spread the news in the World Wide Web, and everyone just went crazy, and finally the news reached to the Valve executives, and they end up banning the account of those YouTubers who are responsible for the gambling site fraud they have created. So based on this news article, I was able to form a knowledge question. So the knowledge, based on the steps to form a knowledge question, I would first need to identify the areas of knowledge, and also the ways of knowing that is used in this area of knowledge. So in this particular article, the area of knowledge I find after I observed this news article, what this news article is all about. I was able to conclude that this news article's A-OK is in ethics, because it is determining whether the acts of the YouTubers who was allegedly was the person who created this a gambling site that was a fraud is right or wrong. It's dealing with morals, and morals is considered to be part of ethics. And the ways of knowing that is that I have and was able to determine from this particular news article is that evidence. Why? Because the hacker was able to determine whether those YouTubers' action was right or wrong. It is based on the evidence that the hacker allegedly was able to found by infiltrating the gambling site's website. So the final knowledge question that I was able to form is, what role does evidence play in ethics? So, now I'm going to discuss about my knowledge question. So, first thing first, I'm going to need to find the definition for my ways of knowing and my areas of knowing, areas of knowledge. So, what is evidence? According to the Encarta dictionary, evidence is that which tends to prove or disprove something, a ground for belief or proof. Next, I would need to find the definition of ethics. So according to Encarta dictionary, ethics is the rules of conduct recognized in respect to a particular class of human actions or a particular group, culture, and etc. I now knew the definition of my AK and also WK. So now I would like to. So now I started to brainstorm whether evidence does play a role in ethics. I started to brainstorm the reasons on both sides. So I started to think, what if evidence plays a role in ethics? Why would that be? So it comes up to my mind that maybe it's because evidence can prove whether an action, object, or idea is harmful or beneficial to an individual or multiple individual. That evidence then can be used to determine right or wrong in a rule of conduct recognized in respect to a particular class of human actions or a particular group, culture, and etc. One example to this is smoking a cigarette is considered to be wrong because smoking is harmful to humans. And evidence to support this claim is that, according to Shivani Sanyai, MD, quote, every year more than 480,000 people die in the United States due to tobacco related diseases, end quote. And then I started to brainstorm whether evidence doesn't play a role in ethics. So maybe I don't know. I started to brainstorm, and I came up with a reason that maybe the belief in something which can't be scientifically proven, such as symbolism, myth, or legend, could be determined whether a particular action, object, or idea is right or wrong in a rule of conduct recognized in respect to a particular class of human actions or a particular group, culture, etc. One example is for this argument is that as an Indonesian, stepping on the Indonesian flag is considered to be very, very wrong, especially by Indonesians, because the Indonesian flag holds a symbolic value attributed to the unity of the Indonesian people. So basically, if you are stepping on the Indonesian flag, it's just as the same as disrespecting the blood and sweat that is spent on by the people that is trying to unite the diverse people in Indonesia against colonialism. So to conclude this, in my opinion, evidence does play a critical role in ethics. Why? Well, because the rules of conduct or a judgment of whether something is right or wrong is based on the logical reasoning from evidence that a particular activity, object, or emotion is harmful or beneficial for an individual or a party. Even I would argue that even the symbolic meaning of a country's flag, they still have evidence to prove that symbolic value, such as maybe such as in during the colonial times, the era of independence, Indonesians would use the Indonesian flag to unite the multiple and diverse peoples of Indonesia. That's an evidence. That itself is an evidence. So this is the end of my TOK journal entry, my first TOK journal entry. Thank you.